Hi there, let's look at ZCash with the Wyckoff lens. If you're new to my sessions, here are the 3 key takeaways that you'll find me cover during the session. Let's start with the weekly chart. Yes, I know that crazy rainbow. It's because of the many key levels with ZCash with its crazy price range from, very low all the way to where it is now that's close to almost 800. So, as of this moment, the bulls are trying to make ZCash staying within this upward channel, or this air hockey table. When we get to the daily chart, we'll be able to see more detail. So look at this cross over here and where the wick ended last week. So I haven't adjusted this box, it's still staying where it was like we have drawn it last week. So this week it's trying to stay above the bottom edge of the box. And the question to us is, in terms of Wyckoff, are we just going through the preliminary supply period? The volume is still high, the price range obviously also pretty high. Have we reached the buying climax yet? There's a chance that maybe not. Okay, the very key is that it better not fall through this uptrend. However, there's still room for this to change, because even if it drops slightly, we can still adjust the channel box by a little. So to keep track of the trend, whether it remains same or is it turning into a sideways or even a downtrend. Alright, if buying climax hasn't appeared yet, that means this wasn't the what happened last week wasn't the automatic reaction. Okay, only if this was the climax that will be the case. Alright, yeah, it's still uncertain yet. Looking at the volume, the price fluctuations, the price range seems like it's getting smaller slightly, but that's for PSY is not uncommon. Let's see whether there was an example during the previous cycles. Alright, in 2018, you see during this is here, you see the PSY period. Actually, there was quite a bit of fluctuations before the actual climax come. So we may just be going through the same thing right now. Alright, if I move across, you see this fluctuation is happening again. So this one over here, it's really interesting because people may ask, hey, would this be the PSY? Yeah, that's possible. That's why I said there are 2 scenarios. One, the PSY already happened at a much lower level at around $270 instead of like doing it now, which means, like we discussed last week, this can be the buying climax as well. An automatic reaction happened last week. So it's only the next couple of weeks can confirm, assuming it still continues to trade along this uptrend box or even just sideways and then go up, then there's definitely it's more likely the actual PSY. Alright, that's the bigger picture. We can see the bulls are still trying to push the price up, and when we get to the daily, that's exactly how it is. Yeah, 2 days ago, the price tried to go through the bottom of this uptrend box or the air hockey table, but quite a bit of buying from outside of the box. And yesterday, we see some price pressure when it tried to challenge this buying climax level again. So that's around $630. Alright. Today, the bulls and the bears are fighting around this. Some people are trying to pushing it up, jumping in. Some are selling, obviously. So if this continues, for the climb to happen, alright? If that's really not the buying climax that we have seen, then obviously this will go even higher. from this point. But there is isn't a very strong reference from this point, because if we look to the left, in 2018, the current price is almost like at 80-90% of the peak. So that's where the level was, about 750. Okay, if you look at these candlesticks over here, they topped at about 750, 760. It's only that one candlestick that went crazy. Look at how deep it gone. How deep it went and how high it went to 900. That was a crazy day. I don't know how much or how many zeros has somebody put wrong in their number, or maybe an algorithm went wrong. So, from this point where we are at to the ceiling, 900. Sorry, it's a long way. I know. Here. Okay. Last time I already drawn the line at around 750. That's taking reference from the left. So from here to 900, that's a big challenge. Okay, if it's really going to bounce up that high, to challenge or create a new all-time high for ZCash, I'm extending the box to see if, or for how much longer, if it follows the current rate of climb, how much time it has to take in order to get to that level. Okay, let's pick one more line and draw it to near 900, assuming ZCash is going to challenge that level. Of course, if some crazy good news about ZCash, or somebody throw in a big bunch of money and do it tomorrow, or even today with 4.5 hours left, that's still possible, to reach close enough to that level. That's the ceiling of the upward channel right now, if it happens today. Alright, but if it takes time to follow the current trend, somewhere around middle of next month or near Christmas, that would be possible, to challenge the all-time high last time, back in like 8 years ago. Okay, so if it doesn't, obviously what's going through right now, there was an LPSY, and this may just be an other, if it really decides to break outside of the upward channel, and then we may be able to see a sign of weakness after that. So that is if it breaks towards the downside and then maybe rebound a little, subsequently re-entering the long-term playground zone. If it continues to trade sideways, again, that's where near Christmas is. A decision point to tell us whether the uptrend is going to continue, or is it going to change trend, either horizontal or decline altogether. Some people would say, hey, would this be a head and shoulder be forming? It may be, but I shared in many occasions there are skewed candlestick patterns, or some candlestick patterns just doesn't work all the time. So be careful if you use that, and just to stay at not at 100% of trusting that. Give it a little bit of doubt. Okay, don't expect that, this is a shoulder, this is a head, this must be coming down as a shoulder. It doesn't always work that way. Okay. Alright, that's all for ZCash. So as long as it stays above this uptrend, there's a chance that this may not be over, unless when the volume comes down. Like if this week the volume suddenly halved and next week stay at such a low level, then this climb may well be over. So thanks for joining me. See you in other sessions.